Oh, he's coming.
Watson. He is going to make his statement against the Baltimore Ravens. He is going to have 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you know what? Afterwards, maybe he's earned a little something. That's all I'm saying.
I'm taking Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns plus 140 yards. I think he's going to have a day in the sunny state.
Chicago. The prodigal son returns this week. Thursday night. Justin Fields returns to Soldier Field, where it all began. Over 300 yards through the air, 100 yards on the ground. He is going to account for 5 total touchdowns in this game. He's going to put his stamp on this game. 5 total touchdowns, over 400 total yards. Justin Fields.
Okay, so let me...
One. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guys on Sports. Great to be back here, headed into week 10.
Yeah, it's great to have you back on the board.
Really
long.
Yeah, he was passionate. He usually cuts it off. I like to let the people speak. Yeah. So, how we doing, guys? Zach's not here, so a little levity in the room finally.
Yeah, it smells a lot less like fecal that's been spread on a power pole, you know?
Yeah. Or a lot less like a cat, but you're here, so yeah. You're a cat guy. I forgot.
Yeah.
So how'd your weeks go, fantasy wise?
I had a good week, man. I only lost 1 out of my 5 leagues. And that league I lost because I didn't start a player because I'm an idiot.
So bad management.
I mean, if you're looking for pushback on that, you're not going to get any on this side of the table, buddy.
Hey, I got 5 leagues to maintain. It's tough.
Yeah, it sounds tough.
I went
5 seems like a lot.
One of my teams that was super strong, just two weeks in a row, bad luck, just losing games, and then now I'm 5-4. I was 5-3 or something like that. That's how that. No, it's 5-2. That's how that math works.
Yeah.
So not doing great. But
2-game slide, huh?
Yeah, it's not great.
That's
Onward repressed right before the trade deadline. I traded for Cooper Kupp. So we're seeing how that shakes out.
Yeah, that's working for you the last couple of weeks.
That's probably directly correlated to the losing streak. But I'm holding out hope.
That was the best trade I didn't get. I was a
Kupp?
little mad at your brother for that. He was a little mad at me.
Yeah. It's early, though.
Just jerking me around a little bit, you know?
You probably like that.
Yeah. But it was a good non-trade. And then I got Debo, and I think Debo's coming back this week. I feel good about Debo.
Yeah.
I don't know,
think
man.
I feel better about Kupp than Debo.
Me too. I'm pretty sure.
With Carson Wentz there?
Yeah, for sure. Carson Wentz is not known for not being able to throw the ball down the field. He's just known for throwing interceptions.
Yeah, he's going to push the ball, if anything, down the field. He's going to give Kupp a lot of opportunities, even in triple coverage.
They got 2 Kupps on the team. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Puka and Kupp, and who do you go to? Whichever one's not being covered. So they're going to have up and down games.
Not really. I think it's more just Brett Rippon throwing the ball to them. That's the big issue.
How dare you talk about a Rippon?
I mean, he's not his daddy. Let's just say that, all right?
He's
not,
no Mark.
He's not slanging it around like the old Redskin.
Yeah. Breaking his neck on a concrete wall. All right, so Rocky, it's time for a TikTok take.
Time to check my social media, to see who loves me online.
All right, so we have 2 great ones. We have a rarity. We actually are going to be making fun of young Zach, which never happens when he here. Funny how that. Yeah,
I don't think it's a rarity. There's actually
there's tons.
It put me on the scent, right? I was looking at that one TikTok and I saw a couple of replies. I'm like, oh shit, he got ripped. This is like a first. I was like, let me check the bank. No, he gets ripped on the regular.
He just never brings it up.
Never brings it up.
A piece of garbage.
So let's start with him. We got this was on his Jay Jetta take, which was not like a real popular take.
Wasn't a real take.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so, huh?
No, I mean, it was real to him.
Yeah.
He felt it for sure.
It didn't exist, though.
So we have a listener on TikTok, AC, that says 3 solid words. Please shut up. Followed directly by Matt_Schwartz214. Maybe my favorite statement. Guy in the Bills jersey is a bot, which I kind of like.
Guy in the Bills jersey was Zach, for the record, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah. He was feeding into his fantasy that he looks like
Josh
Allen.
He really likes that fantasy.
But
He does. He brings
looks
it up.
nothing like
He dressed
Josh.
as Josh Allen. It was me and Josh really gave him business about it. We were pissed off. It was his idea to dress up.
Yeah, and then he wore like
He
Bills
wore
jersey.
a Bills jersey with a graduation cap. He's financial student Josh Allen. Like, what is that?
Yeah, let me tell you what.
Low effort.
He looks like Josh Allen if Josh Allen was 6 foot.
Well, in his defense, I will
130
say,
pounds.
and less cute.
I feel like he already had the excuse built in the week before, because when he was talking about the costumes, he said, "I'm the guy that takes costumes and takes like the literal meaning of it. Like if he was a black eyed pea, he would come in.
Yeah, but how did he say
T-shirt with a
costume?
P and a black eye type of thing?
Yeah, that's the guy.
But how did he say costume?
Costume.
Costume. The
And then-
costume.
Cannot deal with it.
We have one more TikTok take, and this was in my Pollard take, the trade Pollard take, which, again, he averaged 14. He only had 14 touches, and he didn't do much with them.
The problem is not Pollard there, though.
Probably not, but
You got to read the situation.
It is
though.
You got to
Dak.
read the situation. I get it, but that's why I'm saying trade if you can get something. And Miguel said, "Guy rode the pine in high school. I can tell." And then I had a great retort. I rode your mom. Wait, are you my son?
That's
And
good.
A lot of people
It's good.
gave me
You
some
know what you can't
love.
do there? I'm sorry, I got to take you down a peg. You can't say it's a great retort.
Yeah.
It's a great
Before
retort.
you say the retort, just say the retort. It's
a great retort.
And we would have laughed
And
harder.
then we get to judge it. You know,
Yeah,
we get to
you can't
decide
say,
whether or not
"But
it's
I
a
had
great retort.
retort.
I rode your mom.
Had a great retort.
Wait, are you my son? Miguel did not respond. Miguel, come on, to the table. Yeah.
Making tick.
I was going to try, I don't know how do you say son in Spanish?
Hijo.
Hijo, Miguel.
Mi
come,
hijo.
Come to the table.
Making TikTok tick give backs great again. That's what's going on over
That's
here.
right. All right. Speaking of being great again, why don't you head down to Thrive? New users get up to $250 instant deposit, 100% on their first deposit match using promo code GUYS, capital GUYS. Click in the link in our bio or the QR code on the screen right here. Our users get prop slashes, free squares, and game time decision contest sets. So I know last week we had a few squares. We had one for Patrick Mahomes. We had one for Josh Jacobs. We're going to have squares. They'll be on screen. We didn't get them emailed yet, but you will see them. You go there, and those are basically free squares to add to your parlay with Thrive, and they'll help you get a leg up and win some cash.
Yeah, and they also have got some great, if you want to forecast out, they've got some low money, high wins.
That's right.
On who's going to win the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who's going to, it's interesting because, you throw 1,000 on something now, you win
It's called
30.
futures.
Yeah, you win 30,000 later. Come on. That's
The average person just looking to throw G's all over the place on futures.
Hey, listen, all I'm going to say is
I don't get
Florida,
out of-
do the right thing, Florida. It's time to make it legal, please.
For real.
For the
I think
love
it's
of-
coming.
For the love of God. They're really
crying
dragging
out
their
loud.
feet.
My God.
They're really dragging their feet.
Give the
think it's
Native
coming.
Americans their cut. Just come on, government. Let's go.
I think it's coming.
We
I think
want
it's
it.
coming.
We need it.
All right, so that being it, it's the midway point of the season-ish.
Yeah.
We're going to change things up. We're not doing what did we learn this week. We're doing a little segment we're going to call a one-time segment, halftime.
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 I like it.
Halftime. All right,
Simple.
so basically what we're going to do is just kind of touch on some of the guys that we drafted or maybe in general people drafted pretty high or we're counting on and see where we are midway through the season and who we really need to show up if we're going to be playoff
Yeah.
contenders, right?
Yeah, and it's not always necessarily a negative. They could have shown up. You just need them to show up again.
Need to show up more.
Yeah, or for the second half of the
More
season.
showing.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, again, not even necessarily high picks, but just guys we put a lot of stock and a lot of volume into, man. I do a lot of leagues, and, I'll kick this thing right off. And one of the guys that I put a ton of stock in, and one injury killed me. And, that was Aaron Rodgers going down to the fourth play of the season. I put a ton of stock in Garrett Wilson, man. Everything was there for Garrett Wilson, right? You had a guy with he had the best non-catchable ball pass rate in the league last year working with Zach Wilson. The guy is athletic. If you watched the game last night, the guy knows how to get open.
Yeah, he was open for a lot.
All the time he's open.
Yep.
But his timing is off with Zach Wilson, or Zach Wilson can't put the ball on him. And because of that, 2022 Garrett Wilson is now 2023 Garrett Wilson. So I need, oh my God, if there's any like legitimacy to Aaron Rodgers coming back early. I know he just gave a timetable today. He said a couple of fortnights. I need it, man. I have Garrett Wilson all over the place. I probably have like a 60% share in Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna make any kind of money this year, I need him to come back before the playoff push, Aaron Rodgers and start getting Garrett Wilson the kind of volume I thought Garrett Wilson was going to have.
Yeah, and the issue is not Garrett Wilson. He went to wide receiver U.
Yeah,
he did. It's Zach Wilson.
There's no denying that. Ohio State can put wide receivers on the field for sure.
It's either them or LSU. I think just giving it to them or LSU. One of those two is wide receiver U. But last night you mentioned it. I needed a pedestrian night from Garrett Wilson, and I couldn't get it because Zach Wilson can't hit him, and he was open.
Oh,
there was
a few of those slants in the middle of the field, just airmailing it, just a yard or two ahead of him. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I had I was down in one league. I was down 35, and I had Keenan Allen and Garrett Wilson last night. And, had it been hyped up Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers, I probably would have just gone to bed and not even really worried about that.
Yeah.
But, man, I sweated that out to the end. And, of course, fell like 4 or 5 points short because they each put, I think, a 15 spot on the board.
Yeah, it's very sad. I agree.
It makes you appreciate adequate quarterback play.
The greatness of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, not even that. No, I love Aaron Rodgers.
I just want to hear him say it.
Well, I mean, it does make you appreciate a guy that, you're run-of-the-mill quarterbacks that I think people take for granted, a guy that just could deliver the ball on a slant.
Yeah.
You're missing that in New York. You win that game last night probably.
Yeah.
100%.
Sure.
Absolutely. And it's mind-blowing that New York keeps running this kid out on the field, too.
Who's their third-string quarterback?
Who gives a shit?
Because I would probably trade for DeVito.
DeVito. Don't talk about Danny.
I like DeVito.
Listen,
of course you do.
Danny's got the strictest of no trade clauses in the league. Okay, his no trade clause is written by the union.
Hey, he went to Old Dominion. Don't shit on Danny.
Listen, I liked your comment in our thread. The guy looks like he sweats marinara. Listen, I think that's a perfect analogy. Yeah, I like the guy. Yeah. But I think what we should do is we should get Ben DiNucci,
get
DeVito, get them together. Yeah. It'd be a perfect...
man, I don't think that locker room would not be able to handle that testosterone.
Man, there'd be women... Yeah. Man, hide your daughters. That's all I'm saying. So.
That would be ridiculous.
DiNucci and DeVito together?
DiNucci and DeVito.
Oh, my God. That would be...
Do a remake of Casino. You know what I'm saying?
Who's your guy, right?
The press would be showing them their dicks for crying out loud.
There we go. So my guy is somebody I put a lot of stock in. I actually thought he could be a top 15 to 12 receiver. I know you like my ranges.
Tight end?
Drake London. Come on, man. The guy last year, 72 receptions, 866 yards, 4 touchdowns. Where's he at the halfway point? 37, 438, 2 touchdowns, which extrapolates out to the exact same damn season he had last year.
Yep.
When I forecasted him to take that step up, and we need him. Listen, we need something. I bought heavy into Drake London, and I need him to perform.
Yes, you did. He was on your top 12, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was. I tried to lessen the top 15.
I started to have a little bit of faith in him too after you being strikingly convincing in that matter.
It was very convincing.
I have relegated him safely to my bench in all leagues now. Like I don't even have to give it. In the past it'd be a thought, right? Like shit, do I really want to? Do I want to sit Drake London? He's going to pop off here. But here's another guy that is the recipient of shit quarterback play. I mean, this past week. So we saw someone that we're going to mention later in the waiver wire pickups have a great game because they finally have a quarterback that can push the ball down the field in Taylor Heineke. Yeah. Had London not been injured this past weekend, you might have actually seen London finally break off a schneid.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm expecting.
Because Ritter just cannot get the job done.
I have faith in him. I think he can still be top 12. He's got to have a heck of a second half, but hey, I believe.
He's got to catch everything, including balls thrown not in his game.
I believe. So.
All right, so I'm going to go with a guy that I think a lot of us kind of projected to take a step this year. has everything you kind of need. Powerhouse offense. He's got the lineage there. And I had a lot of stock on him. I actually penciled him in as my RB2. Right now sits at 21, averaging 10.8 points a game. Things aren't looking up necessarily. They're bringing guys in. And that's Mr. James Cook. James Cook.
This one is so frustrating to me.
It is frustrating because it's not for lack of trying. They're giving him the touches. I don't know if it's the offense, if it's him. If you watch him play, you see the burst there, you see the flashes, but it's not showing up. 0 rushing touchdowns, which is what really worries me about him. They're giving Allen still those carries. They got Latavius Murray in there to hammer the ball. Who did they just pick up?
They just picked up Fat Lenny.
Yeah, Fat Lenny's
but
in
you see
town.
Fat Lenny's hamstring, though? My God, the guy's leg is like this
pretty
thick.
ridiculous.
Yeah, the guy's definitely, his milkshake definitely brings all the girls to the yard.
But plain and simply put, I need James Cook to show up. I need James Cook I'm going to have to start considering benching the guy. And the problem is, the guy I'm benching for would be Jaylen Warren. But at this point, I kind of feel better about Jaylen Warren going off than I do James Cook.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be saying that as high as we were on Jaylen Warren withstanding in the preseason.
Crazy thing is, like, Monday night, Latavius looked better than Jared. Like,
He had 6 carries Monday night.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Murray
I'm
moves.
saying Cook.
Murray moves the ball. I can't figure out what Cook has everything.
So when I watch those games, I feel honestly like they're not putting him in a situation to win. They're putting him in. They're giving him the ball in obvious like situations, obvious run situations, right? So like 1st and 15, like with if they start off with a penalty, they're even 1st and 10. They're running him in such obvious situations that it's not going to allow him to have the kind of holes that he needs to show that explosiveness. Throw the guy the goddamn ball out of the backfield too. I feel like that whole offseason drama between Diggs and Allen has kind of spilled into the season, into the fact that now Allen feels like he's got to get Diggs the ball constantly, because a lot of these times, out on these swing routes and these wheel routes, James Cook is wide open, and that dude in open space, he's hard to tackle. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And to your point, man, it's been a total disappointment. I have him all over the place too, and he's another guy like Drake London that I've started sitting on my bench and not even thinking twice about doing it, and it's sad.
Yeah, he's capping out at around 4 targets maximum a game, and Diggs is getting like what, 12 targets a game?
Yeah, if not
and,
more.
He's forcing a lot of that in there. So there's probably some truth to what you're saying.
James Cook should be one of those guys that's in the top 5 of running back targets in the league. He should be up there with Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara. He should be up there with targets, like those guys. So that'll lead me right into another running back. And here's a guy that you should,
Here's a guy.
By all means, I should feel confident sticking this guy on the bench too, but I can't, right? Because I spent draft capital on him. The explosiveness is there. The athleticism is there. Every time he touches the ball, he's electric. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. But for whatever reason, man, they will not get Bijan Robinson in situations to succeed. And what's unfair about this, he's the only back with 100 rushing attempts that's averaging over 5 yards a carry. The only back in the NFL, right? So there's a couple that are averaging over 5, right? People are going to say Devin Achane, but he doesn't qualify because he's not over 100 touches. The only back in the NFL over 5 yards a touch. What is that? To me, that says give him the goddamn ball, man.
Yes.
If you're Atlanta, right, and unless you're playing to tank, which at this point you're not, right? Because what's Atlanta sitting 4 and 5 or something?
They were
right?
actually legitimate playoff.
They still are.
They still are.
Yeah.
They're still, if they're not tied for their division lead, then they're only a game behind. So the tanking's out of the question. So now it's time to stop pussyfooting around and give him the ball. I know you were joking the one week, and you said that Tyler Algier was a much more productive running back.
He was that week.
That week he was, but Jesus Christ, man. Every time Bijan touches the ball, man, he's electric. I need a huge second half. I need Atlanta to wake up and realize that they can actually win the division, get into the playoffs, start putting asses in the seats for years to come, and not worry about tanking for a quarterback up top. You can find quarterbacks in free agency. Bring somebody in with a mega deal. Start getting Bijan the ball, man. Because if you don't, you're going to spoil him for the next 3 years looking for your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fair. Well, that leads me into another wide receiver. I chose London first, and this is a wide receiver that I just need him to just be a little bit better than he was the first half. He shared the field with the great Justin Jefferson, but honestly, he was good with Jefferson on the field, doing very little or very much with a little as far as targets and receptions. But Addison, he's on pace to do about 82 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and 14 touchdowns. I like the chemistry. I like the coaching staff in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I like their offense. I think we need Addison to repeat at least his first half of the season.
Yeah, it's funny because you can see like the disparity between doing, when I started doing drafting very early in the season, Addison was going very, very low. So for me, like in my eyes, I see Addison's production way, way, way outpointing his value where he was drafted.
Right.
But I can get now, like and that's what happens. So as you start to draft closer to the beginning of the year, Addison, his stock rose tremendously. You were seeing him taken as the second receiver in Minnesota. You were seeing him getting taken in rounds like 6 through 8. So I get that. In that position, for sure, you want him. He repeats that second half of the year, then
you've got a winner.
You're looking at possible championship teams.
Well, and I think he probably will duplicate his number of receptions. I think he actually could outpace what he did in the first half in touchdowns. I think he could be one of those rare people that win you a league. You get a combination of luck, another player going down, and suddenly you have somebody that is on fire.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that, Captain Dad being down and then bringing in Captain Alopecia, let's hope he can keep that train rolling there.
That is good. That is good. All right. So I'm going to go with a guy here that I think for sure I was low on as far as his value early in the year. I mean, a guy that some people were still saying he was wide receiver 1. And I wound up trading for in multiple leagues. Came back with a boom.
He did.
Last few weeks have been a bust. We could attribute it to a few things, but either way, it just can't stay like this, and that's Cooper Kupp. The bright side here, at least for me, is the target share is still there. We're still at 24 targets over the last 3 games. Probably just a tick below what it would be if Stafford was healthy for all of those. But irrespectively, I mean, I didn't even mean to say that word. Irregardless, the production needs to be there more. Now, I don't know. I'm not watching the Rams games, right? Hands in the air. So I don't know if these are well-thrown balls. I mean, it's Cooper Kupp. I would imagine that there's something to it more than him just not being productive. I'm hoping for a Stafford return or Wentz showing up, because if Brian, whatever his name is, Rippon is in there, I don't know, man. It's not looking great, and I gave up a lot for the guy. Yeah. Both leagues, I was trying to add a final piece to kind of, make that push for the playoffs. So I don't need him to be 12 targets, 8 receptions, 118 yards every week. But I'll take 6-7 for like 100 and maybe a touchdown thrown in here and there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think I'd be okay. And I know there's a lot of guys that invested in him early that held on to him that are probably needing the same thing.
Yeah, and this has been, we were talking pre-show. This year with injuries has been crazy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the world we live in now where, like,
yeah, that's what it is.
It seems like not everybody wants to just get out there on every play, right, and play with sideways fingers like Ronnie Lott and shit like that, right? Now it's like, are your feelings hurt? Let's sit you out 4 weeks. Let's get your feelings good. Yeah. That way, when we start pumping the ball into you now.
Wow. Can you say that again?
In quadruple coverage, just to maintain your feelings, you'll at least get your hands on it. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. It started off hot and then started to tail off.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it's crazy. It seems like people just sit. Justin, what the fuck is wrong with Justin Jefferson? Like, I don't think it's something so egregious that he should be out 4 weeks on IR, right? Jamar Chase this week, perfect example. My back hurts a little bit. Now, I don't know if you've read, but it's all over social media. Like there's something to this. Jamar Chase is really injured, and he might be out for weeks to come. Why? Because your feelings are hurt because you put up 8 points in fantasy last week.
Yeah.
Shut your damn mouth. Get on the field, catch the ball. That's what you're getting paid to do. And I'm investing in you, man. Okay? I'm the one who's spending my hard-earned money in these leagues to win these leagues. I'm depending on you assholes. Get in the goddamn game, man. Austin Eckler, right? Missed a chunk of the season. Justin Jefferson missed a chunk of the season. Cooper Kupp missed a chunk of the season. Aaron Jones, he's another one. I need a huge second half of the year out of you, Aaron Jones. I know you watch the show. These guys, they're sitting on the sidelines for goddamn weeks. And why, man? Get it. Who cares if your hamstring's not 100%? You're in the goddamn NFL. It's never going to be 100%.
I think we should push out some possible changes to the fantasy football world.
Yeah.
One of them would be
that
every week the player would have to hop on a Zoom call with every owner in fantasy.
It's impossible, huh?
And we would just be able to berate him a little bit. Like Waller, what the hell's wrong with you? Put down the joint.
Oh, my God.
And get in the game. For the love of God, you're letting people down.
Yeah, what happened with him?
We spent hard-earned real money on you, and you're just screwing us.
What, is it hard to catch passes because the tips of your fingers are burnt from the hot spoon, buddy?
Wow.
What's going on, man?
Crack, huh?
Can you just... So I think that should be an institution we start. You got to get berated a little bit from your owners.
What say you, Darren Waller fan? What's wrong with that guy?
He's got a hamstring.
Yeah, he's got 2 of them. Everybody does. What the hell's wrong with his?
He's dinged up.
Hey, shoot it up. Get out there and perform for me.
Oh, so you're okay with those drugs?
Those are not like
you're okay with big pharma drugs.
You're not getting used to it. So.
Speaking of drugs, hey, go to the link in our bio. Check out Chalkboard. 24/7 free fantasy advice. Links in our bio or the QR code on the screen. Our Discord. This guy cannot write well. What is that?
Yeah.
Chicken scratch.
Yeah. Should I read it? I'm closer.
What is that?
Chalkboard 24/7 free fantasy advice.
That's right.
Link in our bio. QR code coming at you right here up top. Coming at you. QR code right there on the screen. Our Discord's here to the advice. Mark sits. Phil's.
I got it.
Phil's picks. Rocky's cheat sheet.
Phil's trade / lineup advice.
Oh, that's what it is.
Should we reread it and then drop it in?
Chalkboard. No, I'm just doing it like this. Chalkboard 24/7 free fantasy advice. Link in our bio or QR code on the screen. Our Discords have trade / lineup advice. March starts, sits, Phil's picks, Rocky's cheat sheets. Honestly, though, it's a pretty good community. It's a growing community.
It's a great
We're
community,
close to 300 members right now, right?
Yeah.
Unsolicited. They're just there. And guys are giving each other advice. Dudes are throwing out lineups. We're giving our critiques, trades, all that stuff. So if you're just looking for... anybody that's catching us on TikTok on Sundays, if you're looking for more of that during the week at any time you need it, that's the place to be. Going to be really important down the stretch to get multiple points of view on any moves you're trying to make.
Yeah, and the greatest thing is after we do our live TikTok every Sunday morning, afterwards we hop into Chalkboard, and we can either celebrate your good choices
or bad choices,
bemoan your bad ones, and help you with possible trades going forward.
That's right.
Bemoan, I like that word.
Bemoan.
All right. Sorry, guys. All right, so it's time to get into our waiver section.
Come on, baby. I need you this week. It's your time. Time for a breakout.
Oh, yeah, boys.
Pure sex.
Who wants to go first, you or me? Me or you?
You probably see my nips through my shirt now.
Yeah, I see it right there. Yeah, it's a big one. All right. So I'll start it off, and we'll go right back to the Falcons. You alluded to it earlier. I'm going to talk about Kadriel Hodge.
Boom.
Basically a non-factor in this offense through most of the season, but with the recent bang-up of Drake London and also Mac Hollins, Kadriel Hodge has seen some attention the last couple weeks.
Yep.
And he's been pretty efficient. He went 3 for 3 last week, 3 for 6 this week, 75 yards last week, 60 this week. Hasn't reached the end zone. But things are looking up. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot more efficiently with Taylor Heineke back there. And with London and Hollins on the men, even if one or both of them happen to come back, I do think Hodges' performance the last couple of weeks is going to kind of necessitate some more snaps for him. And, Matt Collins, yes, he was a free agent guy that they brought in, but he's not a guy that, hey, I'm Arthur Smith. I got to start Matt Collins and give him more snaps than Hodge here. Right? Hodge made plays last week. I think that means something. And they are in the thick of a division race, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as you see them stick with Taylor Heineke, a guy that likes to throw the ball down the field, you're going to see more wide receiver play. So you're going to see a lot of packages, too, that even if those other two, the aforementioned, come back and the addition of Van Jefferson, you're still going to see packages that mix each of these guys in. So there's going to be targets to go around for everybody, I think.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
So sticking with the NFC, we'll go from wide receivers to the guys throwing them the ball. You know what? This just in, hot off the presses, the Rams are bringing in Mr. Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, the Wentz is back.
Yes, he's the greatest quarterback in Eagles history. He was shamed out of town. Basically, when the tush pusher came in, shamed out of town, man. Shame on Philly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was his Super Bowl. I know Foles came in and got all the goddamn glory. Who got you there, Philly?
Yeah.
It was Carson Wentz. It
was.
It was Big Red. Big Red.
And they shat on him.
They shat
did.
completely.
Just like they shat on everything.
And they tarnished his name, and then he bounced around the league. And he's been capable this whole time. Well, guess what? Sean McVay says, no more bouncing around the league, buddy. I see what happened. I know you're hurt. I'm going to scoop you up like a baby bird. We're going to mend your wing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring you in because we're probably going to sit Matt Stafford and his emotional baggage off to the side probably for the rest of the season because apparently he takes the ends of seasons off nowadays after winning the championship. And they bring in Mr. Carson Wentz, already in a high-octane offense. Cooper Kupp, he's going to go probably from like 12 targets to like 24 targets.
That's what I want to hear. Thank you.
Carson Wentz, man. You can't go wrong. Go out, pick him up, especially if you're in super flex leagues. Worth a look, even if he sits the first couple weeks, you have him there stashed because Brett Rippon's not the answer.
Guess what? They did push him out of town to Philly, and they fired their coach, too.
Yeah, they did.
And, the guy, I don't like that when a guy has a bad year or two and you just kind of bail on him.
Yeah.
Hey, but I get that from Philly.
I mean, has Philly won a Super Bowl since?
Indy, basically on the brink of the playoffs, he had one bad game. Now, albeit a game that cost him the playoffs, but it was just one bad game. Doesn't cancel out all the good season that he had. A good season.
He did.
I think it was like 28 touchdowns and like pretty low, like under
22 interceptions.
No, it was low interceptions that year. So there's a 3 interception, 2 touchdown game with the Rams name on it. Coming
100%.
for sure. But
Well, I mean,
Sean
Baker
McVay
Mayfield did it
offense-
last year.
Hey,
so.
you know what they're not doing? Todd Gurley's not in town. They're not running the ball 26 times.
They are not.
They're going to throw the ball. That's the only reason you bring in Carson Wentz. So, I think things are looking up for him in Superflex League. Why the hell not?
Listen, you put this guy in that offense where they've been relegated to running the ball. Yeah. You got Kupp, you got Nakua, you got goddamn Tutu Atwell. I don't know if you said you don't watch any Rams games. I catch some of them. Tutu Atwell.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Might be the fastest dude in the league. I would like to see him race Tyreek Hill because Tutu Atwell is fast as shit.
Wentz got a big arm.
And Wentz has a huge arm.
He can make every throw.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, he had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions that year, so you're right.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
Look at me.
A year before, he was 16 and 15. So
yeah, well, that was a bad. Who was that with the Redskins?
No, that was with Philadelphia.
Well, yeah, well, they're shit franchise, right?
Well, okay, so I'm going to go. I like that pick. I think this is a time of the season where you're taking some chances, stashing, and hoping you catch fire. Let's talk about catching fire. Let's talk about everybody on this team that is suddenly hot, but specifically Noah Brown. 6 receptions, 153 yards, and a touchdown. That offense looks phenomenal.
Yes.
It is heating up, and I think Brown, who also honestly played really well in Dallas before this.
Yes.
Like
he did,
he's
yeah.
a competent receiver. Okay, guess what else? Where did he go to school? The Ohio State.
He made some plays too. They
He
weren't
did
just
make some plays.
routine catches
No,
there.
he's a good receiver, and he was a good receiver at OSU. I think he's going to take this and continue.
Yeah,
run
that's
with
right.
it.
I mean,
Noah
is
Brown.
CJ Stroud going to throw for a country mile every game? No, he's not going to. But to your point, as a wide receiver 3, I mean, you saw Nico Collins got his receptions. Tank Dell went
nuclear.
nuclear.
I mean, who do you think? You think Tank Dell at this point? Do you think Dell is the number 1 receiver? Because Houston, what I saw Sunday is they're almost a team of all number 3 receivers.
yeah. I mean,
I don't see
Somebody's
separation.
somebody's gonna have to separate.
Somebody
but yeah.
has to. But what I love about Stroud is he's working deep into his.
well, that's a crazy question to me, too, because what I'm hearing is there a guy that Houston feels the
Is the guy.
necessity to force the ball on? No, and that's the beauty of
That's
the
what I
Houston
like
offense.
about it. Yep.
I don't think they have to force the ball on
Yep.
anybody because I think all 3 of these guys are completely competent pass catchers,
Yep.
and they
Young
don't
guys,
They don't
they're
have
not
that
no
pressure
ego yet.
They don't have that pressure of them, sitting out for 4 weeks because Joey, you'll need to read the ball 7 times.
And it appeals. It appeals. It appears like
It does
their
appeal.
line is better than what we thought it was going to be.
That's true.
And Stroud is working through, and so I think Brown is a decent pickup.
I like that pick.
Okay, here we go. So I'm firing it up.
Do it.
I like to do speculative ads. This
Spank?
time of year, no, speculative.
Okay, so he says Banks.
So that means when I say speculative, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying this is not, it's not written in stone this guy's going to blow up, but,
It's worth a shot.
Let's be honest.
I see some bubbles in the water.
It's week 10. I mean, no,
Exactly.
you're not picking somebody up off the wire that's, next
Exactly.
year's in the first round,
But here's
Not
what
unless
I'm
you get
saying.
lucky.
In the old Nashville, Tennessee there, right?
Yeah?
You got a new quarterback who's slinging the rock around.
He does.
Renewed life, renewed energy down there, right?
I know where you're going, and I like it.
Kyle Phillips.
Boom.
Last 2 games, 8 targets. Not anything crazy, but in that town, Treylon Burks is out with a concussion. Who knows how long?
got asthma.
You got DeAndre Hopkins, and he got 5 targets after Treylon Burks left. Looks like he's in line maybe to be that number 2 guy right behind, who did I just say? What's his name? Hopkins, right?
DeAndre
That's
Hopkins.
right. I got her. I can't forget. They're floating
Yeah, I
around.
mean, and will look good even
look good.
even in facing a tough defense.
Yeah.
No, he had his hands full.
Yeah.
And that was a short week. Kyle Phillips, just hit about 70 yards on 4 catches. Why not?
Well,
I think
especially
they're going
with
to keep throwing the ball. Yeah.
Especially with getting Henry more in the mix, him coming back and feeling a little bit healthier. I think it's going to be.
I don't
pretty
think
good.
it had anything to do with his healthiness. I think that for whatever reason, Vrabel was switching off of running Henry
Yes.
so much. Henry looks to be the same goddamn beast Henry has
yeah.
always been. That
Yes.
dude has not missed a beat.
When you give him the ball,
Yeah.
he runs. I wanted the Browns to trade
Give him
for
the ball, he runs.
Give me rock, I run. Phillips last year, if I'm not mistaken, he had that injury where he was working his way into
Yeah.
being the guy mentioned alongside of
Treylon.
Burks.
Yeah.
Treylon can't stay on the field. Phillips, why not? There's nobody outside from DeAndre Hopkins where we feel the need to really force the ball on.
Nope.
And Mr. Mayonnaise, that guy looks great, man.
He does.
2 weeks ago, he had the 4 touchdown game.
Yeah.
3 of them to DeAndre. DeAndre needs help. It's not just going to be able to be the DeAndre
Who's
and the
getting-
Henry
who's getting
train.
the shade now? Who's getting that safety over time? He's not. You get what I'm saying? He's getting
Yeah.
that extra defender if there's going to be one.
Yeah.
So
And
Kyle
Phil-
Phillips.
Phillips is a competent pass catcher. He runs crisp routes, and he's pretty goddamn fast. Why not? Why not it be Phillips? I like it, Phil.
he's rostered in 0.1% of leagues.
There,
he's
there
So
it is.
basically not rostered.
He's giving you gold, guys. He's giving you gold. Go stick it in your chest. You know what? We're gonna keep talking about. We're gonna keep talking about burners. We're gonna keep talking about
Okay,
guys that
you got another guy. Okay,
he's
go.
got lightning coming out of the cleats, and that's coming out of New York, Mr. Daniel Bellinger. What's his 40 time? What does he run? Like a sub 4.140?
Yeah,
This
something
guy
like
is
that.
like
Yeah,
lightning.
he's lightning quick.
Anyway, we got Darren Waller who can't stop lighting other shit up. So He's gone for the foreseeable future. So now you got Danny Bellinger, who should have been the guy. I don't think New York really had to go out and get Darren Waller. It was kind of a surprise move to me that they even did with his, questionable history, both, on and off the field. Not to keep pushing that, but honestly,
Yeah, not to keep pushing it.
not to keep pushing it, but Jesus Christ, this guy. No, in fantasy football, you need some solidarity, right? So Daniel Bellinger he was set up to be the guy before they brought Waller into town. So you have a guy that already knows the system, already knows what to do, has already been working with quarterbacks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 15 in New York because they can't ever keep anybody on the field either. And he gets his target share. There's no wide receivers there that are setting the world on fire. Would you agree? I mean,
I would agree.
There's, Jalen Hyatt.
I don't know what the hell they're doing is what I would agree about.
Yeah, and
why the hell is Paris Campbell on the field?
Why is
Wandell Robinson not on the field?
I can't.
What the hell are they doing?
Yeah, what is going on? And not only that, but you went out and you got Paris Campbell for a reason. You outbid other teams.
He needs to return punts. That's it. The guy can't make a move after he catches the ball. Wandell actually looks good. You drafted him. Play the guy. What? Who the hell is Paris Campbell? He's going to be out of the league in 2 years. Play Wandell.
Keep it going.
My God.
No, let it out. You got to let it out.
Ridiculous.
This is the perfect time. Just let it out. What's going on there? What's going on in New York?
Matt Breed is your backup. What the fuck? It's New York. It's the New York Giants. Matt Breed is your backup for 3 years? Oh, my. I can't.
I feel like there's more to this.
There's more. You're not going to bait me into more. No. It's out of hand.
So anyway, Daniel Bellinger, I think he's going to get a lot of looks, especially around the goal line. I think New York's going to use DeVito as a game manager.
DeVito.
I know we hate that term. But I really don't think they're going to let him, uncork the ball all game long and put, decision making in DeVito's hands until he's a little bit more comfortable with the offense.
I think Barkley winds up being the starter eventually.
Yeah, quarterback.
Yeah,
Matt Barkley, idiots.
I think it should be Saquon. I think they should run it out. I think they should run the Wildcat.
I think they should have got Carson Wentz.
If there's a team that should run the Wildcat, it's probably New York. Quite honestly. You got some fast guys. You got Wandell. You got Saquon Barkley.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
How long is Tyrod out for?
He might not come back.
Oh,
yeah.
Rib. He might not be back.
He's gonna get another injection right into the lungs.
Somebody called Jake Fromm.
He's like, have you seen this line? I'm not doing. All right, let's keep it on the tight end train.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk a lot about this guy. Remember, hey, we're deep in the season. We're getting a little bit desperate.
Yeah.
Tight ends are falling left and right.
You're digging in the crates.
I think this is going to be somebody who is good, 6.5, averaging 6.5 points a game. And I do believe in the New York Jets magic. I believe your favorite quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers, is coming back, and that is Tyler Conklin. Also, maybe the best haircut I've ever, look at this.
You like that haircut?
You got to put this up here. I want this right here.
That's a man bun.
Yeah.
Tyler Conklin, I think he's been consistent. He's getting the targets. He's not going to probably blow anybody away, but he's going to get probably 6 to 8 points in a tight end, unless you got Kelsey.
He's been good
the
last few weeks.
Yeah, one bad game against the Giants, but otherwise he's looked pretty good.
That was just a defensive battle. Yeah. The targets are ticking upwards, right?
Ticking up.
And then if you do happen, look, if you got the roster spot, you need a fill-in.
Yeah.
Stash him. Yeah. Rodgers comes back. Now you got Aaron Rodgers starting tight end.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers historically hates his tight ends, so I don't know why that guy doesn't feed his tight ends.
Not in New York.
But you got him. You got Conklin. You got Uzama on the other side too. He's got a couple of beef eaters there on the ends of the line.
Beef eaters.
Anyways, all right. That's my final.
It's our final and our bold takes. That's how you get bold. Does anybody remember the bowl? I remember mine. Daniel Jones, 300 yards, 3 TDs.
Yeah, how did that work out?
Well, he tore his ACL.
Boom,
so we didn't
busted
get to see.
Achilles.
Wow.
That's tough.
ACL.
Is it ACL? Okay, that's better than the Achilles.
Boom,
That's better than the Achilles. No, I legitimately felt bad.
Boom! Well, you're gonna celebrate this?
No, I legitimately felt bad for Danny. I did. It was
Danny, I do. So he didn't hit that high water mark. Do you guys remember your calls?
I didn't have one. I wasn't here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes no difference.
Tyreek didn't exactly feed his crotch to
No, he
Andy
didn't.
Reid like
He
I thought he
didn't.
was going
No.
to, but he did.
I thought he was too.
I thought he was going to, but 8 receptions for 62 yards, not a terrible, productive day. 14 points in the fantasy world.
That's not Tariq Hill day.
It's crazy that you're pissed at him for getting you 14 points. Many weeks I would do.
It's not what you
a lot of
expect from
things.
him, though.
You
No.
do a lot of things for 14 points. You know what I'm saying?
Do we remember Zach's?
Sachs wasn't his.
What did he say? He said the Philadelphia Eagles would have 10 successful tush pushes,
No, that's what it was.
but 7 of them were in the locker room.
Do you remember? Do you remember or no? You don't remember?
remember.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll stitch it. All right, so time for our bold takes this week. Who's ready to go? You?
I got it. I'm
You got
ready to go.
Let's
Yeah.
hear it.
I'm going to talk to you about this guy. This guy's coming to his own. Deshaun
he's coming.
Watson.
Uh-oh.
Deshaun, listen, his last 2 full games, he's been injured in between. Last 2 full games against the Texans and against Arizona, 507 yards, 4 touchdowns, 72.5% completion rate, 4 touchdowns, no INTs. He is going to make his statement against the Baltimore Ravens, the number 1 defense in the league. He is going to have 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's a bold take right there.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah. And you know what? Afterwards, maybe he's earned a little something. That's all I'm
Maybe
saying.
he did. Maybe. Why not?
Well, yeah, it's like anything else, right? In moderation, it's not a bad
Yeah.
thing.
If you perform,
Yeah.
why not?
Why not get
Deshaun Watson.
get the reward?
400 yards, 3 touchdowns against the Ravens.
Get the bag.
Here we go.
All right, I'll go next. So, for my bold take, I'm going down to sunny Tampa Bay, where they're going to be welcoming in those Titans that we just talked about. And the bottom half of the league pass defense, I'm taking Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns, plus 140 yards. I think he's going to have a day in the sunny state.
A day in the sunny state.
Here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Okay.
Chicago.
Oh, here we go. It's Homer Day, huh?
Chicago.
You guys been talking shit about me last week?
Chicago.
The prodigal son returns this week. Thursday night. Justin Fields.
Okay.
Returns to Soldier Field, where it all began. He takes on a spotty Carolina defense, and you know what? He says, "My bad, guys. My bad. I didn't mean to dislocate my thumb.
I got this.
I don't want to sit out any longer. You want to know why? Because you're my team, and I'm here to lead you. And I really don't want you. Please don't draft a quarterback with the first pick next year.
Yeah.
Here's where he turns the season around. It happens this Thursday night. Tune in on Prime TV. You're gonna watch Mr. Justin Fields over 300 yards through the air. Right? I get that that's not barn burning, right? But he just came off a dislocated thumb. 100 yards on the ground. He is going to account for 5 total touchdowns in this game, all right? He is going to put his stamp on Soldier Field.
Is it a tramp stamp?
He might be. It don't matter. We'll find out. He's going to look up to Ryan Poles, and he's going to wag his finger, and he's going to mouth to him, don't you fucking do it. Don't you dare do it. And you know what he's going to be talking about? He's going to be talking about using that first pick next year on Caleb Williams. That's what he's going to be talking about. He's going to put his stamp on this game. 5 total touchdowns, over 400 total yards. Justin Fields.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. In all seriousness, if you were the manager, which I got to be honest with you, you couldn't do any damn worse. If you were Chicago Bears, the GM, first pick, second pick, who you got?
I'm going Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr.
So that just takes away the win from everything he just said. And I wanted you to say that. I'm happy you said that.
All right, guys. Well, that is the show. We thank you for joining us. Hope you'll be with us next week. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Comment underneath who you think had the right take, the wrong take, or any take that you enjoyed listening to. You can follow us on all socials at GOM Podcast. And you can listen to us on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Guys on Network, Guys on Sports, Guys on Draft. Please, please, please check us out on TikTok every Sunday, 10:30 to 11:30, maybe 12ish. Giving out fantasy advice. Chalkboard, we're doing it all week. Go to Thrive, sign up. Let us know what you think. We love you. Peace.
Hey, Miguel on TikTok. Hijo, come to daddy. Come on. Talk to me.